Hey, Melissa, thank you for joining. Eat your broccoli. Ben, what's up, y'all? Rhodey's Jam Cave. Hey, welcome in, Rhodey. I had to restart it over again. I didn't think the notifications were going out the first time I tried. Yeah, man, it's been a couple of days. It's only because it's due to rain that haven't been able to. And there were some folks here at the park yesterday, which I didn't want to disturb with my live stream, so I just wanted to do it another day. Okay. Oh wow. Yeah, shit. So I'll wait a couple more minutes to get a few more people in here. So we got 4 and 4, so we're good. Oh, Melissa, it's just because of the this tree. They were putting more stuff up over here. They don't want nobody over here for the park, so they're not quite done with this yet. This tree fell down about like a couple of weeks ago. I guess it was rotting out inside, so they decided instead of cutting it all up and hauling it off. I mean, that's quite a big piece. They'd make some playground equipment out of it. But yeah, shit. Yeah, just been trying to find some work too. Um, yes, I do, Melissa. The Cash App link is in the About section of my YouTube. If anything that you could donate, it's always appreciated. That's I need to get another rear light for my bike because the light that I have, it's not even working the right way. Just does like a steady blink and then it'll shut off and then you can turn it back on again. I mean, it comes back on without even have to plug it in. Just kind of weird. But yes, the Cash App is in the About section of my YouTube channel. Without further ado, guys, we'll go ahead and get started on chapter 2 since we waited a couple of minutes. Okay, this is chapter 2, guys, out of Images of America. This is Tombstone. It's the discovery of silver, guys. Ed Scheifelen, born in Pennsylvania on October 1847, was one of the few prospectors to discover a rich mother lode. By the time he was 29 years old, he had prospected in Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, California, occasionally taking on regular work to feed himself and his burro. In November 1875, when the prodigal son returned to his parents' home in Oregon, he had $2.50 in his pocket. He borrowed $100 from his father and traveled to Arizona. At the Grand Canyon, he set out with several Wallapais who were going to southern Arizona to scout against the Apaches. Scheifelen arrived at Fort Huachuca on April 1st, 1877. He prospected during the day and returned to the fort at night. Soldiers always asked what he had found. When he replied nothing, they responded that all he would find was his tombstone. Scheifelen called his first claims the tombstone and the graveyard. He then traveled to Mojave County to find his brother Albert, who was working at the McCracken mine. The Scheifelen brothers met Richard Gert, an experienced engineer who assayed Scheifelen's fabulously rich ore samples. Within a few months, the area was overrun with prospectors, and a tent city grew up in the area known locally as Goose Flats and later as Tombstone. When Scheifelen discovered another claim, Gert said, "Ed, you lucky cuss, you have done it again." Scheifelen called this claim the Lucky Cuss, and it produced $1,200 to $1,500 of gold ore and $15,000 of silver ore per ton. The monument on the summit at the Lucky Cuss Hill became the initial point for all Tombstone district surveys. After Ed Scheifelen claimed the Lucky Cuss, he told his brother Al and Richard Gert that the next would be a tough nut to crack. "Hey, what's up? You be chillin'." Whoop whoop. He therefore named the claim Tough Nut. Tough Nut miners received top wages, $4 a day for a 10-hour shift. The Tombstone Mine and Milling Company boasted a director's room, a secretary's office, and an assay lab. In the assay room was a vault with a burglar-proof door with silver bullion stored until it could be taken to Tucson and deposited in a bank. Yeah, dude, $10 a week. The company built a small store where food cost the miners $1 a day. This circa 1880 photograph of the hoisting works at Contention shows Tombstone in the background. The Contention mining camp had a reputation for being even rowdier than Tombstone, just beyond the ore bins and the superintendent's house. In 1882, the Contention Consolidated Company produced 632 bars of silver valued at $1,676,795.95 and employed more than 100 men to work its 20 miles of holdings. Charlie, how'd he do? Several towns arose in the shadow of a great silver discovery at Tombstone, but most are now only ghosts of their past. N.K. Fairbank organized the Grand Central Mining Company of Tombstone. Fairbank, a Chicago merchant, also held stock in the railroad line from Benson, Arizona to Mexico. It was here that a branch line to Tombstone was named after him. Not far from Tombstone, in the shadow of Dos Cabezas, Two Heads, Twin Peaks, a town by the name of Dos Cabezas emerged in the 1880s, first as a watering hole for stage lines and later as a mining community. Like most early mining communities, it became a hell-raising town and rustlers' rendezvous. However, at one time, Dos Cabezas also had homes, a school, hotels, stores, a newspaper, and a respectable number of bars. Today, it is not quite a ghost town and boasts a small museum. Ed Scheifelen had blue eyes and his long black curly hair hung down to his shoulders. He usually wore a red flannel shirt and tucked his pants into his boots. More often, his workday clothes were patched with deerskin, corduroy, and flannel. His slouch hat was pierced together with rabbit skin. He carried a rifle for protection to supply himself with meat. Hey, GW, what's up, brother? Miners worked by candlelight underground at the Tombstone Consolidated Mine. Clothing included a wide-brimmed hat, stiffened with resin, and undershirt, union drawers, woven shirt, baggy trousers, and boots or ankle-high brogans. Many were miners from Cornwall in England, also known as Cousin Jacks, along with Irishmen and refugees from Pennsylvania oil fields. Richard Gert was the first to see the value of Ed Scheifelen's discoveries. Gert, born in New York on March 29, 1836, was imbued with his father's philosophy of hard work. At age 16, he traveled to California and learned the assayer's trade. Gert took a job as a civil engineer in Chile and 2 years later returned to the United States to work in Arizona. In 1864, the first territorial legislature of Arizona hired Gert to make a map of Arizona. And made a map of Arizona. Hell yeah. From left to right are seated Associate Justice Joseph T. Allen. Hey, Good Citizen Media. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining. Joseph T. Allen, Governor John N. Goodwin, and Arizona Territory Secretary Richard C. McCormick, standing. Henry W. Flory, the governor's personal secretary, U.S. Marshal Milton B. Duffield, who was assassinated at the Bronco mine where Scheifelen and Gert stayed while they were exploring the Tombstone sites, and U.S. District Attorney Almond P. Gage. Al Sieber, chief of scouts for the military, made some claims when the Tombstone strike looked to be very rich. Unfortunately, government needed him at Fort Whipple, and he sold out for $2,800. As Tombstone grew wealthier, the town erected permanent buildings as evidenced in this stereopticon view. And hey, Dina, welcome in. Hey, and George, you are now a mod. J.D. Kinnear started his Tucson and Tombstone Express with one Modoc stagecoach. He provided once a week service. The coach left Tucson on Tuesday and arrived in Tombstone the next day. After a one-night stop, it returned to Tucson the following Friday. A passenger could purchase a one-way ticket for $10 and the stage would depart from Rice's drugstore in Tucson. Within a few weeks, Kinnear was able to purchase a more modern Concord coach. If you guys want to share each other's links, go ahead and drop each other's links, guys. You guys are always welcome to do so. Unless you guys are all sub to each other already. The 11th Territorial Assembly carved 4,003,840 acres out of Pima County on February 1st, 1881, calling it Cochise County. And Tombstone became its first county seat. In 1931, the county seat moved to Bisbee. The new courthouse was described as a fine two-story structure built on a solid foundation and substantially furnished inside. It also contained the county jails and other county offices with a handsome courtroom on the second floor. Today, the Tombstone Courthouse is the smallest of the Arizona state parks and functions as a museum that displays historic objects and documents from Tombstone's wild and wealthy past. 420! You know what time it is? In 1881, Tombstone built a handsome city hall. This freed Pima County from the expense and the difficulty of preserving the peace. It allowed Tombstone to legally name a town marshal and enact laws. On December 9, 1879, the town was incorporated as the village of Tombstone. Some wanted the name changed, but by that time, Tombstone was too well known. Yeah, Nadina, I've read at least 4 of these already, or 3 of these. I think this is the 4th one. The first one I read was about Wilcox. It's the Images of America. If you ever get a chance, you guys can go to your library and check out some books about your hometown or whatever, and maybe they might have something. You never know. Could be interesting facts you guys probably don't know about. Keeps the old noggin working. Ed Scheifelen died on May 14th, 1896 in his cabin in Oregon. He had written, "I am getting restless here in Oregon. I like the excitement of being right up against the earth, trying to coax her gold away and scatter it." He left his property to his wife and 15,000 University of Arizona bonds to his brother Charles. His will reflected his love of Tombstone. "It is my wish, if convenient, to be buried in the dress of a prospector, my old pick and canteen with me, on top of the granite hills about 3 miles westerly from the city of Tombstone, Arizona. That a monument such as prospectors build when locating a mining claim be built over my grave. And no other slab or monument be erected, and I request that none of my friends wear crepe. Under no circumstances do I want to be buried in a graveyard or cemetery." So that's where he was buried, guys. And here's just a Tombstone vicinity and the San Pedro River Mills. It's just a map here, guys, so I'll just let you guys look it over. Yeah, right here we have Tombstone. one was kind of short. I was just going to see if you guys would like to hear chapter 3. If you guys would like to hear chapter 3, just drop me a 1. I'm loving the format of this. Also, the book with the tree in the background, huge tree, and reading the story is excellent. Yeah. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's nice and peaceful here, you know. Plus, they got Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi in the park here. So they have like 4 different modems set up on these lights. All right, guys, we'll go ahead and start that. We're gonna start that second one. Our third, chapter 3. Tombstone, best remembered for the notorious fight at the OK Corral, had a population of 10,000 around 1880. Although the mining camp acquired a reputation as a wild and raucous town, it also had 4 churches, a school, 2 banks, several newspapers including the Epitaph, the Nugget, and the Prospector, an opera house, the Birdcage Theater, Scheifelen Hall, and a meeting hall for the Masonic Lodge. The news of the Great Strike brought a surge of restless prospectors and miners, merchants who were happy to sell supplies at grossly inflated prices, gamblers quick to part miners with their money, and the ladies of the night ready to trade pleasure for money. Shh. At first, the site was known as the Gert Camp, then Waterville. On May 9, 1880, the Tombstone Townsite Company was registered with the Territorial Land Office. The deed for this company was registered in the name of the mayor, Alder Randall. However, people soon discovered that their deeds were faulty, and this brought on fights. Still, buildings went up as fast as lumber could be brought into the place now known as Tombstone. Carl Gustavi Frederick Bilike built Tombstone's first 2-story hotel, the Cosmopolitan, in 1880. A year earlier, his first hotel, a tent, offered guests fresh milk from his own cow. A German immigrant furnished his hotel with 50 beds, a restaurant, a Steinway piano, and a decent saloon. The second story was furnished with 25 beds and a ladies' parlor. I would imagine they put guards around there. It doesn't look like they were quite finished with that yet. Standing on that, looked like they were standing on a pallet or something. The Tombstone epitaph was found on May 1st, 1880 by John Philip Clum, who followed the Silver Trail to Tombstone. He claimed to have coined the name as appropriate to a paper that chronicled the events of a town named Tombstone. By the following January, Clum had become embroiled in political and social quarrels of the town. Today, the Tombstone epitaph is still published. On August 23rd, 1915, the Tombstone Prospector and the Tombstone Epitaph merged into a special ceremony. When Judge William Barnes rendered a verdict against the Prospector's editor, Stanley C. Bagg responded, "We take our medicine with good grace, and we hope the Honorable Judge and the Honorable Board of Supervisors will not make any grimaces in taking the pills which have been prescribed for them by our editorial surgeon." The comments only enraged the judge that he sentenced Bagg for contempt. The editor, who was to be jailed until his fine of $300 was paid, expected to sleep comfortably in the sheriff's office, but instead had to sleep on the floor of his jail cell. Wow. Damn. Fucking had to sleep his ass on the floor. Damn. Wyatt Earp left and John Clum right posed for a photo in Alaska years after the OK Corral fight. John Clum, born in New York on September 1st, 1851, served as an Apache agent, editor, and Tombstone mayor, and is best remembered as a staunch defender of the Earps after the famous street fight. In the spring of 1882, Clum sold his newspaper to a group of prominent, wealthy Democrats. It's Wyatt Earp right there, guys. By 1883, when Mary Clum died on December 9th, 1880, the Tombstone epitaph reported, "Another heart is stifled in eternal silence, another headstone made desolate." Mary D. Ware, born in Cincinnati on January 18th, 1853, married John Clum in Delaware in November 1876. Okay. By 1883, Tombstone had a large number of attorneys. They are as follows: Charles Clark, George Williams, Colonel William Herring, James Riley, Thomas Mitchell, Judge Peel, whose son was killed in Charleston, Arizona by Zwing Hunt and Billy Grounds, unidentified, John F. Lewis, Henry F. Dibble, 10 identified, 11 unidentified, Marcus A. Smith, who later became a territorial representative to Washington, D.C., John Haynes, Webster Street, Ben Goodrich, George Berry, William J. Siemens, Casey Clum, who was either a brother or nephew of John Clum, and 21, Daniel Penny, who served as judge during the Bisbee Massacre. Sarah Herring grew up in Tombstone and worked for her father's law firm. On November 24th, 1892, she passed a rigid law examination with distinguished honors. A month and a half later, Sarah was admitted to practice before the Supreme Court of Arizona. Sarah made her first appearance before the Arizona Territorial Supreme Court in 1896. An injured minor, Michael Welch, had obtained a $5,000 judgment in a lower court against his employers, required Sarah to appeal the decision. Welch had brought on the accident himself. The Supreme Court reversed the lower court ruling and ordered a new trial. Judge James Robinson, born in Culpeper County, Virginia, partnered in a legal practice with Marcus Smith in Tombstone. He represented like Ike Clanton in the Earp hearing after the gunfight with the Earps and Holiday. He also urged the Tombstone populace to rid itself of the Chinese evil. Robinson died in Tombstone on May 20th, 1903. Lee Woolery passed the Indiana bar examination in 1903. The same year he moved to Arizona. He and his brother bought a ranch along the San Pedro River. However, before long he had a legal practice with most of his cases involving mining litigation. He held offices such as deputy county recorder, city clerk, city attorney, and county attorney. Early Tombstone officials posed for a photograph. From left to right are standing Deputy Sheriff Bill Bradley, County Attorney George Washington Swain, an unidentified clerk, Clerk of the Court A.H. Emanuel, Jailer William Ritchie, and Nat Hawk. Seated D.H. Wardwell. Hey, Melanie Leano. I appreciate you coming in. County Attorney George Washington Swain, an unidentified clerk, Clerk of the Court A.H. Manuel, Jailer William Ritchie, Nat Hawk, D.H. Wardwell, W.C. Stale, County Treasurer M.D. Scribner, A.W. Wentworth, and W.D. Monier. Dr. George E. Goodfellow spent his youth in the California gold fields. As a surgeon, he figured prominently in patching up Tombstone citizenry involved in mining disasters, fires, street fights, brawls, and duels. When an earthquake devastated Bafispe, Mexico in 1887, Goodfellow led a mercy expedition for which he was honored by the President of Mexico. He served as head surgeon for the Southern Pacific Railroad and became the Arizona Territory's health officer. Dr. Harry Houston Hugart, M.D., was born in Virginia on September 1876, was for many years the only physician in Tombstone. He was described as giving allegiance to the Democratic Party, and his religious doctrines were in accord with the doctrines of the Presbyterian Church. He came to Tombstone in 1903 and served as superintendent of the Cochise County Hospital for 5 years. Alrighty. Yep, just only one. Nelly Cashman, born in County Cork, Ireland in 1845, was known as the Angel of Tombstone. She never turned away anyone who was hungry for lack of money, and it was said that anyone criticizing the cooking in her restaurant would find himself looking down the barrel of a gun until he apologized. Damn. From 1904 to 1925, Nelly prospected in the Yukon. In 1994, a 29-cent stamp was made in her honor as part of the Legends of the West series. I don't know if you guys have ever gotten any postal stamps like that, but yep, back in 94, 29-cent stamp was made in her honor. Legends of the West series. That's really good. People like that, they don't turn anyone away for lack of money, especially when it comes to eating. George Whitwell Parsons was an Eastern tenderfoot banker who soon became an experienced prospector. He was also an amateur actor and a wrestler. But Parsons is best remembered as a journalist who kept a detailed diary of Tombstone during its boom times. He frequently lamented the lack of eligible women. He began his journal in 1879 and wrote his last entry on December 31st, 1929. When Tombstone fell on bad times, Parsons moved to California. Damn, dude. Doesn't hurt to check underneath your car there. Jeez. How these people drive around like that? Stop and see what the hell is dragging underneath your car. Take it off. Jeez. Abraham Hyman Emanuel was born in about 1838 in Philadelphia. At age 12, he and Cornelius Vanderbilt, grandson of Como, Cornelius Vanderbilt ran away from preparatory school and got as far as Panama when they ran into the old Commodore himself. Emanuel ran away again and reached California, where he was given a job as a clerk by Judge McAllister. When Emanuel heard about the big silver strikes, he traveled to Tombstone, where he worked as a superintendent of the Tombstone Water Mill and Lumber Company. Emanuel speculated in stocks, and in 1880 he sold his claims of the Vizina mine to White and Virgil Earp. In 1889, Judge Richard Sloan appointed Emanuel, a staunch Republican, as clerk of the Cochise County Court. 7 years later, he was elected mayor of Tombstone and was re-elected for 2 additional terms. In 1902, Mayor Emanuel got Ordinance 69 passed, which granted Charles the right to develop the Tombstone Light and Gas Works. However, that year Emanuel was defeated by Ariach Wentworth. In his departing speech, Emanuel graciously welcomed the new mayor. Hello, AJ, welcome. Today we did chapter 2 and now we're on chapter 3. And people just driving like damn nuts around here, I tell you, man. It's one of the damn problems around here. People don't know how to drive or drive like a civilized person. Ariach Wentworth, born on October 2nd, 1859 in Corlina, Maine, practiced the tanning trade before coming to Fairbank, Arizona. In 1885, with the New Mexico and Arizona Railroad, he then became an agent of Wells Fargo and Company. He established a Tombstone billiard parlor. In 1902, he defeated Abraham Emanuel for the mayoral office. All right, here comes the train, guys. Just had to hurry that one up before they started getting over here. Oh, yeah. We appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, shit. Damn, there's 2 of them. Damn. Got this one right here, and then you got another one over there on the other side. Jeez. Did a 2-for-1, guys. Hey, thank you, Broccoli. Rosie, thanks. Put that down for a little bit. Well, this one's a little quieter, so I guess we can continue. Wells Fargo and Company was the first to provide banking services in Tombstone. A holdup of its stages also gave impetus to the ill feeling that led to the famous gunfight. Artemus Loudon Grow, a Union veteran of the Civil War, spent 44 years in the Tombstone area. He came to Tombstone in 1879 as a customs collector when the town served as a port of entry between Mexico and the United States. A superintendent of the Tranquility Mine, he worked to repay all the company's debts and put it on a paying basis. In 1903, he served as a delegate from Tombstone to the Republican Convention. Thank you, ladies. You ladies are all beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Much love to all you guys, man. You guys are all awesome. Ooh, man, we had a twofer on that one. James Franklin Dunklin, born in Philadelphia on June 15, 1839, came to Tombstone in 1879. In November, he was elected to the 12th Territorial Legislature from Cochise County. In 1892, he became a Justice of the Peace in Tombstone and served 3 terms as Tombstone Alderman. He wrote a series of reminiscences of Bisbee titled Bisbee with a Big B. Tombstone's first school opened in February 1880 with 9 students in a small town with a dirt floor. By the end of the term, more than 40 students were in attendance. The desks consisted of boards spread across packing boxes. The seats were made by placing planks on a nail kegs, and teacher's desk was a flour barrel turned upside down. Sorry, guys. Textbooks were any books that could be found. Hey, thank you, Ben. Appreciate you doing that. 5-of-a-kind media. Man, what the hell is his damn rush? Fucking dummy back here. Look at this guy right here. Not him, but the one in the gray truck. Hey, 5-of-a-kind. Awesome, man. I didn't know that. I know Will Cox. You're up in Fort 99 to 2001. You may know somebody that works there at Fort Grant. He still works there today. Hey, Far Lab, Far Lab. Welcome in, guys. You guys are all awesome. Yeah, that guy, he was up over here. Here, I'll turn it around. He's up over here trying to get through this way. And of course, he couldn't wait because, you know, this train over here. So, damn, peeling out from the stop sign there. Made this channel because I made prison band room music in Fort Grant. Oh yeah, guys. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think it's gonna stop here. An early Boy Scout troop gathers in Tombstone. Here we got some baseball players. Oh yeah, yeah, Rosie, it's right here. Oh, Charlie, you mean the statue? Yes. Yeah, the trees right here. They were making a swing out of it and a little playground here for the kids here. But yeah. Yeah, the guy back of me, Charlie. That's a statue of Rexella Senior. It's one of the hometown Cowboys here. They have the museum right across the street. Tombstone residents became early baseball enthusiasts. The man in the top hat is Robert Sandy Bob Crouch, a native of Ohio, who started a Tombstone stage business in 1880 and ran state coaches to Bisbee and Fairbank. In 1883, he bought the Gordon Ranch, put his son in charge of Apache raids forced the sale of his property. Sandy Bob also supplied wood to the Copper Queen Company in Bisbee. In 1895, Crouch moved to Mexico City and died at Guadalajara on September 10, 1908. Yeah, Charlie, that's a statue in the back. Right here. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that, five of a kind. A lot of things that happen there, you know. Yeah, Charlie, that's Rex Allen Jr. or Rex Allen Sr. right there. And Rex Allen Museum right up over here. China Mary is believed to be Mary Sing Choi, born in China. She ruled Tombstone's 400 Asian population while wearing opulent brocades and expensive jewelry, and her word was undisputed law in Tombstone's Chinatown. She acquired enough money to buy several pieces of property between 1895 and 1896. And if you wanted it cooked, clothes washed, or house cleaning, you dealt with China Mary. Well, there we go, guys. Her store carried Chinese delicacies and she operated gambling tables in the back rooms. She was the wife of Alum and died in Tombstone of December 16th, 1900. If you guys remember, she was in one of the other books about Arizona here. China Mary. When the hearse arrived at Boot Hill in January 1938, a crowd had already gathered to bid farewell to the last member of Tombstone's Chinese community, Quang Ki. Quang's pallbearers included Dave O'Neill from the State Tax Commission, John Gleason, founder of the town of Gleason, J.W. Smith, G.J. McCabe, and George Berger. Two attending these men, Ji Hing and Yi Wei, claimed to be Quang Ki's cousins. Kwong made his reputation on his restaurants. The Black Diamond in Pierce, the Grecian in Charleston near Tombstone, and the famous Can Can in Tombstone. During his last years, Kwong and his last little dog subsisted on county alms and friends' charity. Fing 57. Hey, welcome in, Fing. All right. The contention consolidated acquired the richest mine in the district for a mere $10,000. The company failed not for lack of rich ore, but because the underground water would not be pumped out fast enough. This postcard shows the $1 million strobe on Tough Nut Street in Tombstone where the silver came out of the ground. Let me see. That's silver. Yeah, I believe it's silver. Yeah. But Fing, to answer your question, yeah, the tree it had roots on it, but they dug them up. How it fell over from this way. It barely missed this other tree over here. Barely missed this one. I thought it hit it because the way it's just leaning over that way. So, yeah, what they did, they put two of these things up here, two of these poles to stabilize it, and two swings there. Not sure why they threw the sand on it though. I mean, just, people to sit there or whatever. I mean, but on the other side over there, there's like some pieces just cut that were like made like steps or whatever, just to step around on or whatever. But instead of taking it away, they just made something positive out of it. Kind of sucked though, because it was 100 years old from what I was told. But yeah, they're not quite done with it yet, but I think they will be finishing up with it here pretty soon. Otherwise, they would have taken this tape down so that way people could get on it. But yeah, guys, this is Jose G, and tomorrow, hopefully with weather pending, we'll do chapter 4, and this is going to be the good one, guys. Check this out. Imagine how many rocks have been through to make all the silver in the world. Yeah. Eyes and ears only today. Thanks for another enjoyable reading, Jose. Thank you, Anon Mouse. Thank you. This will be tomorrow, guys. Gunfight at the OK Corral. Yeah, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It's the way things were back then. It's not as easy, kind of easy as it is now. Hey, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and make another mod here. Farlap, we'll go ahead and make you a mod. Dino, we'll make you a mod too. Just for next time around. So, just in case we get some weirdos in chat and start getting silly. But I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think it's ever happened. But tomorrow will be gunfight at the OK Corral, guys. It's going to be the best one out of there. The one I believe. So, Ben, External Affairs. Hey, better late than never, man. I'm just rounding it up right now. But it will be, I'll say about 4 or 5. I'll make it 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Arizona. So, oh, Rosie, you're not a weirdo. Oh, shit. You guys are all awesome. I thank you guys all very much for joining me here at the Historic Railroad Park here in beautiful Wilcox, Arizona. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Y'all are beautiful. Thank you guys. Thank you, ladies.